Welcome to Armchair Expert, Experts on Expert. I am Dax Expert. I'm joined by Expert Padman.
Yeah. What am I an expert in?
Oh, goodness. All kinds of things. You're a veritable information center for the Grove.
God, that's true. I am an expert at the Grove. I could tell people.
Perhaps even better than the...
Mr. Grove.
Yeah, John Grove. But on the way here, now we're on Lake Michigan in Michigan, in the woods.
Still in Michigan, but we're in the woods by the lake.
And on the way here, I sang to you, I'm a good old boy. You know my mama loves me. But you can't understand, they keep showing my hands and my face on TV. And I was explaining to you the history of Waylon Jennings doing the theme song for the Duke Boys. And if you had to rate that bit of information I gave you out of 10, where would you put it?
As far as interesting or useful?
Well, okay. Let's do 2 scores.
Okay. Useful, 1.
Okay, yeah, or even 0 maybe.
I don't know.
It could come up.
It could come up. So I'll give it a 1. Interesting, 7.
Oh, great.
Yeah.
That lyric was put in Waylon Jennings' own release of the song because in the title sequence of Dukes of Hazzard, you saw his hands playing the guitar, but you never saw his face.
Yeah.
So his mom couldn't understand. They kept showing his hands, not his face on TV.
Yeah.
Listen, here's the thing with our guest today. Steve Madden. Of course, I was aware of Steve Madden.
Sure.
He has a gigantic shoe empire.
Yes.
And then I vaguely remembered some kind of tasty morsel about maybe him being in Wolf of Wall Street.
Oh, sure.
Like I remember them chanting, Steve Madden, Steve Madden. He was, in fact, part of Wolf of Wall Street. He did go to prison for nearly 4 years.
Yeah.
And he is so candid about it. It was so interesting to hear about how he built this shoe empire. And then,
got sort of wrapped up in some not so great stuff.
Like the Phoenix fell and then rose or rised or risen from the ashes and really took charge after that.
Yeah, took his life back.
I also just really liked him, and he was really muscular and fit. We started off with pictures, and I got my arms around his broad shoulders, and I just had to say, for someone above 60, a lot of muscle mass.
Yeah, he had a lot of muscles.
Powerful.
It wasn't one of the reasons I liked him.
Right, that's generally not what you're attracted to, but for me...
Big time.
Big time. So... Steve Madden is here as our expert today, and he is fascinating, so please enjoy. We get support from Quince.
Have you been wearing the Quince linen shirts?
Yeah, I've been wearing them a suspicious amount. Yeah, European linen ones, they're $34, which is genuinely insane for how nice they are.
It doesn't even make sense.
Well, here's the deal. They work directly with the factories, cut out all the middlemen, so you're paying for the actual quality and not some brand's marketing budget. Everything's 50 to 80% less than comparable stuff. I love it because it's all very classic and traditional, and I know I'm going to be able to keep it for a very long time, and the quality's off the charts.
That's true. The style is very consistent. Whatever you get there, you walk down the street, you're going to look good. They have these lightweight cotton sweaters, which I love for when it cools down at night. It's nice drape around your shoulders in the summer and then throw it on when it gets a little cool. And it's not just clothes. They do home stuff, ding, 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 travel stuff, everyday essentials. It's all the same model, quality without the markup.
Make your summer wardrobe easier. Go to quince.com/Dax for free shipping on your order and 365-day returns. Now available in Canada too. That's QUINCE.com/Dax for free shipping and 365-day returns. Quince.com/Dax. We get support from Apple Gift Card. Back to school is here, and for many, that means some big life transitions. Whether they are heading into a new grade or setting up a dorm for the first time, you want to give them something that actually supports their growth and success. Apple Gift Card is a versatile solution because it takes the guesswork out of gifting. It's not just about a new pair of AirPods for focus. It's about giving them the invaluable chance to choose the digital tools and subscriptions that suit their unique journey. They can use it for productivity apps on the App Store, movie nights on Apple TV, or extra iCloud storage for all those new memories. With Apple Gift Card, it's so empowering to give the students their freedom to allocate their own resources. Celebrate their new academic chapter. Visit applegiftcard.apple.com to celebrate their milestones and gift one today.
He's an armchair expert. He's an armchair expert. to the bathroom.
How old are you?
61.
61.
Yeah.
Okay.
I just turned 61.
Happy
Happy
birthday.
birthday.
Thank you.
What date exactly?
March 23rd.
Okay, my daughter's is the 27th, so I feel like I'm going to love you.
I'm not sure.
We'll
Yeah.
find out.
All right.
You have a very charming accent.
In the bowels of New York.
Yeah, but you are strong. I'm looking at you, and I pray that when I'm 61, I'm retaining the level of muscle mass you have.
So, I did a couple of years in prison. It's not something you lead with. It's
Sure,
not,
but-
especially a tea dance. But, there's really not much to do but work out.
I am obsessed with prison. I was in a movie about prison. That's as close as I ever got. As
Yeah.
I was at Joliet State Prison.
Wow.
And just acting in there, Steve. Just spending 10 hours a day in the cell. I was like,
Yeah.
no fucking thank
Yeah.
you. If I reached my arms out, I could touch both walls
Yeah.
and still be very bent. That made me feel panicky.
Yeah. People are fascinated with it because it's everybody's worst nightmare.
Yes.
Yeah.
That's really what it is.
It
Yeah.
is.
It's my worst nightmare.
Which I imagine would become weirdly empowering to have lived through something that is everyone's worst fear. Like beating cancer for
Yeah.
people. It can give you
Yeah.
this whole new perspective on life, right?
Yeah. As a kid, I used to say, thank God I don't have to have a baby because I don't know if I could do that. It seems so terrible.
Oh, like
Yes.
birthing a baby.
birthing
yeah,
a baby.
Yeah.
And I was like, oh, thank God. And it doesn't look like I'm going to be going to war
Right.
because the Vietnam War had ended. The draft was over. And there was no draft. There was no war.
Yeah.
So I was grateful for that because that seemed to me to be unbelievably bad.
Yeah, guys just 10 years older than you were going to Vietnam.
And getting shot. Prison was the third thing.
Right.
Yeah. And I thought, well,
Probably not.
probably not going to happen.
Okay, so let's start at the very beginning.
Okay.
You're from Queens, New York, and you're from Rockaway, yeah?
Yeah. Kennedy Airport goes right over the 5 towns and Far Rockaway.
Right.
My family is from that little neighborhood.
And you are half Jewish, half Italian?
Half Jewish, half Irish. You got the Catholic right.
Right.
But it was very rare. Irish and Jewish is very rare.
Yeah.
Italian and Jewish is not as rare.
It's not as rare.
I think the Italian mothers are similar to the Jewish mothers.
Yes.
Oh, that's probably true. Yeah.
The overbearing mother.
Yeah.
Which is
Involved.
Irish mothers, they're not really that interested.
So dad Irish and mom Jewish?
My dad was Irish, yeah.
And so how did they meet?
Well, my dad was from the Christian part of a Jewish neighborhood.
Oh, okay.
It was a very Jewish neighborhood, but they had this little town where all the Gentiles lived.
Uh-huh.
And that's where my dad was from. It was the end of World War II, and I think they met at some sort of dance in the neighborhood. And I suppose, at the end of war, I imagine that maybe barriers were less stiff because we'd all gone to war.
You felt very unified as just an American. First, probably.
I imagine.
Yeah.
I wasn't born till 58, so
Well, you remember, I certainly remember, to bring it way down for a second, the day of 9/11 and the day after. I remember I was in Santa Monica and I went to 7-Eleven to buy shit. And there was this bizarre civility to one another that I had never experienced on planet Earth. And I was like, oh, wow, we are all overly aware at this very moment that we're a thing and that thing's under attack.
yeah.
And we're in this together.
Yeah.
Born out of tragedy, but I was very aware and present for how unique that feeling was.
Yeah. It feels like we're not there right now.
No, in fact, it would be the opposite.
Yeah,
I
it
would
feels
describe.
like everybody is very in their own camp, and you
Yeah.
almost have to apologize for liking the president or
Sure.
for disliking the president.
Sure.
It seems to be really
Well, our identity is now
Yeah.
who we like politically, which I think is bonkers. There's so many things there's so many things that would come on my list when choosing a friend before who they voted for.
yeah.
Personally.
But this is a very extreme time that we're living in. You must admit.
Oh, absolutely.
Yeah.
Yeah. And there's a bazillion theories. I have my armchair theories, and
Yeah.
I'm sure you have yours.
Yeah.
But I think social media is, to me, a very loud megaphone for difference.
It must be that because it is extraordinary time.
What you can't argue is that this is the most divisive president of all time. That's just not true. Andrew Johnson, they had to get rid of him. He tried to go backwards on Emancipation Proclamation. We had a civil war. I mean, if you just look at
I was
history,
supposed Lincoln would have been the most divisive.
I mean, literally divisive. Yes, divided the
but
place.
I actually think that we're headed towards some secession. You know, I don't think it's out of the question. There's so much rancor between the two sides.
What I pray is it doesn't take something like 9/11 to fucking remind us that we're all neighbors. I hope we're evolved enough to get there without some horrific incident.
Well, even besides America, I mean, I've made that argument to friends of mine, like people all over the world, we're all the same. Right now, there's a guy named Abdul, and his wife is breaking his balls. Just like my wife broke my balls. You know what I mean? We're all the...
Human.
Yes. It would be great if everybody could get with that.
Yes. We have about 96% in common. We all wake up. We don't want to wake up. We all got to then take a shit. We got to feed ourselves. We probably got to get kids to school. By the time you get to the moment you would have your political debate, you've done nearly the same exact thing on planet Earth as everyone else.
Yes.
And that should be very unifying and bonding, in my opinion. We're all plagued by being humans.
Yeah. You're obsessed with defecation, I noticed
He's
that.
said it so many times now.
Yeah.
It's interesting.
Yeah. Interesting in what way? Tell me.
No, I mean, you mentioned it a few times.
It's just the beginning.
Jews are very obsessed with that, too.
Germans are the most.
Is that right?
As a cultural characteristic. Yeah, I read a whole Vanity Fair article. They've got like 3,200 words for shitting in the German language. Yeah. It is interesting, isn't it?
It is. I remember if I had a cold or something, my Jewish grandparents, they would want to give me like X-Lax.
Okay, sure. Get it out.
Get it out.
So, mom and dad, they stayed married?
They stayed married, yes.
They stayed married.
Over 50 years.
That's beautiful, yeah.
They're both gone. You know, it was mixed. So I was Jewish and Christian at the same time. In those days, it was rare. It's not rare today. I mean, my kid goes to school, everybody's half Jewish.
And I, of course, have this view of that time period in that area that's very much informed by Goodfellas, Bronx Tale. I have this kind of idyllic kids running around the street, people playing stickball. Is any of that?
The one that touched me was Mad Men.
Oh.
He captured the essence of the family in the early 60s and my dad wearing a hat, going off to work, and drinking, you know, the drinking at lunch.
Yeah.
And I'd watch that show. I feel like I was getting together with my dad, seeing my dad. So great.
And what did your dad do?
He was in the textile business. He sold fabrics to department stores or fabric stores. Every day he would go off on the train and he'd wear that long coat and he'd wear the hat. And then at night, as a little boy, I'd pick him up at the train station with my mother. I'd be a little boy, I'd be in the back seat, and he'd come walking off the train, same train every night.
What was the golden goose for him? Because, see, my dad sold cars.
Yeah.
So I could list to you like 4 things that would have been the pinnacle for him. You know, like one was owning your own dealership.
Yeah.
You know, there was all these things. Did Dad have some obsession as he was building his career? If he could just slank?
I think that my dad was so worried about losing everything that, you know, he grew up in the Depression. He had me at like 45, 46 years old, which was old in those days.
Oh, sure.
Not that old anymore.
Said the guy with a 6-year-old.
Exactly. 61-year-old with a 6-year-old kid. He grew up in poverty-stricken. You know what I mean? So his thing was always to have enough money to play golf on the weekends and have a Cadillac.
So he did allow himself those things?
Yes, he did.
Okay.
We were always lived in fear. He operated out of fear, and he would read to me the bankruptcy notices in the newspaper when I was like 11. Like he would say, look, see what's happening in the country? And he would read this stuff. And it has colored my business. I started this business many years later, even though I don't look very conservative as a businessman. I was a very conservative businessman. They used to call me Chicken Little. I used to always think we were going broke and the sky was falling. And it actually served me well because I built a big company.
So I have a similar disposition. And I found at a certain point, I had to go, it's time for you to shift gears. Because this is going to be limiting. You're not acknowledging what's really happening. In your pessimistic view, you'll be limited by that. Yeah. So was there ever an evolution? But to grow a business, you got to fucking, at some point, swing for the fences, no?
What you're asking me is a deeper question. It's just like, what point did you think you deserved?
Oh, that's interesting.
You know, all this stuff. I'm a wealthy man today.
Yeah.
And I don't think I am. Like, I'll say, look at Dax.
Yeah.
Big baller, actor, star. He's a wealthy guy. That's not me. And I'll do that. Like, oh, those people.
Yeah.
That guy's fucking rich. And people look at me like, are you fucked up in the head?
Yeah. Well, you are, right?
Yeah. And I am.
Yeah.
So my personal life and my business were separate. I remember in the early 90s buying 2 pairs of cowboy boots, brown and green. I was so racked with guilt that I bought 2 pairs. I had to return 1 pair.
Did you have an entrepreneurial spirit as a kid? Were you like Always trying to figure out how to make a couple bucks.
Always. I mean, I can remember being 6 years old and 9 years old and being different. I was always different. I was always entrepreneurial.
Shoveling snow, cutting
Doing
grass.
all that stuff. Caddying.
And if the guys were good and lubed up and they shot well, you might get a nice tip,
Get
right?
an extra $2.
Yeah. How did you do in school?
Not well.
Okay, great.
Not well.
Great.
Not well. I have attention deficit disorder. I was diagnosed as an adult. We didn't know about it when I was growing up. I loved to read on my own. I loved history. When you talked about Andrew Johnson, yeah, that's it. Let's talk about that.
Yeah.
I love shit like that. And that was just all self-taught.
You were pulling your hair out, sitting still in a classroom for an hour at a time?
When I had hair, I did pull it out.
Okay, well, that's what happened to it.
So I did. I had trouble focusing, so it was tough for me.
And how did this mixed religion play out in the social circle?
I kind of dug it. I was an outcast, and I kind of enjoyed that. And so amongst my Jewish friends, which I mostly had Jewish friends, I was just a little bit different.
Right.
Just like different. And I reveled in that.
Sure.
And then the Irish guys, I was a Jew.
I'm sure you heard millions of jokes nonstop at your expense.
Of course.
And how did you...
No, I thought it was great. I enjoyed being an outcast. I didn't really have to pay a big price, by the way.
In that you didn't get your ass
I
kicked
wasn't
all
like
the
the
time.
only black guy in a white school. Or,
Right.
Yeah.
Something like that. Or, the only Jewish guy in a school. Or
The only Indian girl in Duluth.
the
I
only
wasn't
Indian-
the only
I know,
one, but
but for the sake of this,
Yeah.
the only...
or the only Jewish guy in prison.
Well, you graduated high school.
Yeah, I did. I graduated. And I went to college.
Where'd you go?
I went to University of Miami
Okay.
in Florida.
Yeah.
Yeah, but I only lasted a year.
Did you like to party when you were
I
younger?
did.
Yeah.
Yes. I enjoyed drugs.
Yes, me too, so
Did you
much.
like drugs too?
Yes. Are you sober?
Yes, I am.
You are.
Yes, I am sober.
Did you like cocaine?
I liked everything.
Oh,
I was a complete lunatic.
okay.
Did you ever stare out the peephole of your apartment?
Oh, God, yes.
I used to snort cocaine, and I'd be alone, and I'd start taking the love seat and the couch and putting them up against the door. I was convinced that people were coming down to arrest me.
Sure.
How insane cocaine made me.
Well, because you're the center of the universe, so clearly everyone around you is
Yes.
thinking
so
about
did
you.
it made you paranoid?
So paranoid. They actually call it cocaine psychosis.
Oh,
Yeah.
wow.
Yeah.
Usually, in my experience,
Yes.
it's more of a day 2 on the drug that it sets in. Your first 9-10 hours on it, I'm at least feeling pretty confident.
Yeah.
It's generally on, like, for me, day 3.
I would be completely insane.
Uh-huh.
It was the worst drug.
Was it your favorite?
I did it with reckless abandon. I hated it. I couldn't stop doing it.
Right.
It just made you feel so bad. It was the oddest drug.
Yeah.
People loved it. You'd snort it and you'd feel bad.
Oh,
It was the most bizarre thing.
No.
Yes.
I totally disagree.
No, you snort it, but you couldn't talk. You couldn't have sex.
You can't have sex.
You can't have sex. You can't talk. You can't eat.
so what's the point?
Well, I have a different relationship with it than he does. I would snort it and feel optimistic. I liked myself. The world was going to work out. It was a great relief from my pessimism.
Now, there is a little bit of euphoria that goes with it, but you
Yeah.
can't talk. Your mouth locks up.
Well, I
You could talk?
Yeah, I could
See, I
talk,
couldn't
but I
talk. I used to
couldn't
talk.
fuck. And that was one of my big breakthroughs in recognizing I had a problem with it. Was I was at a bar. I was talking to a very beautiful gal. Things were going swimmingly. Someone come over and said, "Do you want Mike to bring an 8-ball by?" And I looked at the girl and I looked back at him and I was like, knowing full well, if I say bring the 8-ball, I'm not having sex with this person.
Yeah.
And I said, "Yeah, have him bring an 8-ball." In my mind, I went, "Oh my God, you like this thing more than sex."
Wow.
That's a red flag.
Yes.
It's a little scary.
Yes. No, but I had a bad relationship with it. I drank a lot behind the coke. And so I just took everything to excess all the time. My drug, because I'm older than you, my crew, we took Quaaludes.
Yeah, my dad loved
Yeah.
these. He would regale me with,
Quaalude
"Oh, you were
stories?
born too late."
I loved Quaaludes. My generation, we used to go to the pharmacy. They were called 714s. And you would just get this. I tried to talk about Quaaludes in my documentary because it was a really big thing. I wanted to explain what it was like. Usually you took it on an empty stomach because you didn't want anything to interfere.
Right. You want to be
Right.
pure about it.
Yes. No eating. Quaalude takers are notoriously skinny.
And sexy.
Yeah. So you'd get this tingly feeling and you loved everyone. It wasn't even sexual, although it was that as
Yeah.
well. But it wasn't even just that. You'd see the mailman delivering your mail and just, I want to be close to you. I want to be your friend. You want to.
Yeah.
It was like an intimacy drug.
Yes.
Is it like
Big-
ecstasy?
I never did ecstasy. I never.
Oh, it sounds like it's similar, maybe.
I've heard people say that about it.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
How long ago did you quit?
So I'm sober 6 years.
6 years.
Yeah, I had a little time.
Uh-huh.
And I went out.
How long had you had before you went out?
I had about 10 years. Oh. So.
And you're back, though.
Yeah,
That's fucking incredible.
Yeah. So I had a little detour with painkillers.
Oh, sure. That's a very common.
Yes.
Because you can get a surgery and then
You wake up the beast. Yes, yes. I'm very vigilant today, and I don't mess with anything. And I mean, I do take Advil. And I've had a lot of stuff. I had my teeth done. I had a lot of work on my mouth, and I didn't need anything.
Wow.
I swear. I mean, I got obviously Novocaine.
Yeah.
Right.
But man, I had so much work done. They drilled and they put implants in.
Oh, wow.
And did everything in my mouth.
Stone cold sober.
And I didn't need it. There wasn't even that moment where you're like, am I hurt enough?
Yeah.
Let me grab one of these pills.
The pill addiction, I would argue it's the worst of all of them in that such diminished return.
Yeah.
Of all the addictions, right? It's just immediately downhill as far as you're not even getting anything out of it.
So it's like being kidnapped.
Yeah.
Especially opiates, because you get sick if you don't take them.
Right.
That's another thing. Like in the cocaine, it wasn't the same. The opiates, you feel it. Oh my God, I got to take something. I may not make it.
Yeah.
It's awful. It's so bad. And then you need more and more. So bad.
I'm so glad you're here, and I'm so glad you found your way back.
Yeah.
It's really awesome.
And it takes a lot of courage to come back after a slip.
Yeah.
I encourage anybody who's out there to go get help. It's courageous. It's the opposite of what you think. You feel ashamed. I should be sober. But it's the nature of the disease.
Well, and I'm going to add to it, it's a huge service to come back.
Wow.
And tell me what it was like. Because I'll be fantasizing about, maybe it's this, maybe it's that. Like, you can't overestimate the power of coming and telling your story. It's so helpful to all of us, especially if you have like long-term sobriety. Here's another guy who had 10 years. It's so helpful.
Right. And then you can't also underestimate the disease. That's the one thing. Like, it's always true. I see guys, they went to a rehab and they come back and they seem to be doing okay and they're smoking a little weed.
Sure.
Or they're taking edibles. And they're like, but they're cool, And I'm like, oh, geez, maybe they are cool.
Right.
Why am I such a loser? I can't take anything,
Yeah.
And then the next thing you know, they're like in a straitjacket.
Yes.
Parted off.
Yeah.
Slippery stuff.
Yeah.
Okay. When do you start your shoe business?
So I was 30 or 31 maybe. Started Steve Madden.
What were you doing between dropping out at Miami and then?
Yeah. So I worked in a shoe store.
Okay.
Learned the shoe business. And then some wholesale company pulls me out of the store, says, you got a lot of pluck.
Chutzpah?
Pluck. I like the word pluck.
It's better? Okay.
No, but chutzpah's good too, because I have that too.
Okay.
And, and I went to work in the wholesale business and I learned my craft and I wholesaled shoes. And then I started to design shoes. I started to work on shoes. I said, I could do this. I think I could do this. And I did do it. And then that ran its course working for another company. And I started my own.
And were you artistic at all as a kid? Like, were you someone who sketched or?
No.
No,
I wasn't artistic.
So fascinating.
I mean, I was very creative in some ways.
Sure, and how to get things you wanted.
Yeah. Bullshit artist.
Right.
No, I was a creative kid, but I wasn't a drawer, an artist in that sense. But I thought differently.
Were you reverse engineering? Were you going, I can see what's working in the marketplace. Can you explain your design inspiration?
And that's exactly it. I could recognize the voids in the market, and I knew how to get it done, and I knew how to make them. And I had a sense for business, and I wasn't nervous about that. I never doubted my ability to do that. But, there are so many things in a business. To raise money, you have to be able to pay your bills, and there's a lot that goes into it.
To have the perfect skill set to make a business work. Bill Gates was an incredible programmer, visionary, whatever the fuck he was. But then to also be able to hold the reins of a business growing that fast is yet another crazy anomaly, right?
There's so much to it. And also creating shoes. On top of creating this company, the secret to business is to have people on your team. That's really, I had a good thing. I understood how to make a shoe that sold. So I had that talent. But then there's a million guys with that talent. The secret was I started building players, people coming in and building this thing and growing the business and hiring people that were better than me.
Right.
That was a real secret. You know what I mean? Do this for me. You know, knowing that I couldn't do certain things.
That's an Achilles, though, for many people, myself included, where I'm a bit of a control freak, but you have got to delegate, right? You've got to find people that are better at shit than you.
Yeah, absolutely. And it's very interesting the way you put it. You made me think, because the entrepreneur is a perfectionist and he is a control freak. So it's counterintuitive to let go.
Right.
But in order to win, you must let go.
Yeah.
In order to win, you must let go. You must get people that are better than you to do different things. I mean, there's very few people that can do it all. There are some. I was not one of them. I mean, I can't keep a piece of paper on my desk. If you gave me a piece of paper, it would be lost in 40 minutes.
Yeah.
People were like, where is that paper? I'd be going through my, that wasn't my thing. Yeah.
So you start Steve Madden. You took savings you had acquired through working for other people, launched this business.
Yeah, I started with $1,100 actually. And then I was able to build a bankroll, and one foot in front of the other. It sounds corny. I did what I could do, and I made different business deals that weren't quite capital intensive. So I was able to use other people's money in the beginning and then keep building.
Right.
Yeah.
And now here's where the really fascinating part of your story begins.
Yes.
A lot of people have seen Wolf of Wall Street.
Yes, they have. I couldn't believe they were making a film. I can't believe my life was coming to the big screen.
Also, by the way, heralded by a guy you must have been from New York loved.
Yeah.
Scorsese.
Yeah.
You must have.
Oh, he's just the greatest filmmaker.
Yes.
I mean, Goodfellas that's the film. It's everything. In fact, when I'm with my friends, we say, what's your favorite film? You can't use any Scorsese films. You're not allowed to. It's that kind of thing.
Easy.
He's so great.
Yeah.
Anyway, I saw the film. They screened it for me. 12 people from my company, and my heart was pounding. It was pounding because I thought, what are they going to make me look like? My kids. So I really couldn't take it all in because I was just so nervous. But then I realized they treated me fairly. And so I started to enjoy it towards like maybe 2/3 of the film. And I never saw it again since then. It kind of freaks me out. Of course, the scenes that they show, if I'm at a basketball game, they'll show a scene and they'll put me on the Jumbotron. There's a famous scene where they're on Quaaludes and they say, Steve, I walk on the streets and people go, Steve, Steve.
Yes. So the guy that Jonah Hill is playing is a childhood friend.
One of my best friends, one of my oldest friends, yeah. And they were incredible. These guys nailed it.
Yes.
They nailed it.
So many layers of that. One, how wild to see a story you were involved with be brought to the screen by Scorsese, Leonardo DiCaprio, all these. That in itself is like surreal enough, right?
Yeah, that's crazy.
But then their story in and of itself is crazy surreal. The pump and dump, the whole thing.
Yeah. Now, I was sober when this was happening.
Oh, you were?
Just only recently looked back and seen that my addiction to money had taken over.
Right.
Because I was sober.
Yeah.
I mean, people go, you couldn't have been sober. I mean, it was all this crazy. And they were high all the time, but I was. But it was something else was happening to me.
And it was another external thing that gave you an internal feeling.
Correct. That's right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, and it doesn't matter, right? You'll clear money off the table. Good, I lick that. And all of a sudden you're like, wait, I'm eating popsicles at night in a weird manner.
Yeah.
I think I might be using this to regulate my emotions.
Yeah. I'm eating over the sink.
Yeah, it never ends, right?
I'm still eating over the sink.
Oh, good.
Yeah. But they filmed in my store. They invited me to the set in my store. And I was like, no, you got to play Counting Crows. That's what we listened to in those days. It was that kind of thing. Of course, they didn't listen to me.
So your childhood friend, I am assuming he approached you and said, let us help capitalize your company.
That's exactly right. That's exactly right.
He seemed to have the money tree in his backyard.
That's right.
In my shoes at 31 years old or however old you were at the time.
Yeah.
Wouldn't have even been interested in whether it was legal or not. Just personally.
Yeah.
Wouldn't have given a fuck.
Well, I appreciate you giving me the benefit of the doubt. At that time, we thought it was legal.
Okay, great.
It was a little bit of a gray area.
Sure.
Because there was so much money being made. They promised me to get me money, and I'd never had more than 20 grand in my life. I didn't even believe them. I said, yeah, sure. Yeah. Okay, whatever.
Right.
We'll get you 600 grand, and then we're going to raise you $7 million. And they did it.
Yeah. And that must be a feeling akin to winning the lottery, right? Could you even believe that was happening?
It was amazing. To have money. I never really had money. It was odd.
Yeah.
It was an odd feeling.
That would propel me into, well, if that just happened, what's next? Because we're only happy for about 30 seconds, right? If we get the thing.
It's amazing how that goes.
So it takes up, so they actually raise all that money. And then you put that money to good use, I'm assuming?
I did. I had an innate sort of instinct on how to make it happen. And I took the money.
And you grew the business.
Yeah. And I was involved with the guys and they were doing other deals. And
You were investing with them at that point?
yes. And those were the things that I got into trouble for.
And while you were doing them, how conscious were you of like, oh, this is definitely over the line, or this is deniable? I know this is a little shady, but I think it's deniable.
You know,
were you playing that whole shell game with your head?
You're just thinking that it'll never happen to you.
Right.
That happens to other people. Like we're all going along and, nothing bad is going to happen.
Stay tuned for more Armchair Expert, if you dare.
Well, it's a bit like that college scandal that's going on. I think people have been paying to get their kids into school.
Oh, big time.
Forever. That's an old story. It's that kind of thing. It happens, you do it, and then all of a sudden somebody gets busted. And it's like, what were they thinking about? TMZ hit me when I was walking out of a restaurant, and they asked me what I thought about it. And I said, it was a stupid thing, but do you really think she should go to jail for that?
Right.
I mean, I don't think she should. I'm talking about Lori, the girl from, I don't know her, but
Full House.
Full House. Girl.
Yeah.
Stussie's
husband. We can
Massimo.
Massimo.
You're funny. No, that's so funny because I confuse Stussy and Massimo all the time.
Steve, we've had to come to the same realization like
We
6
had
times
like
on
a
this podcast.
30-minute long conversation on this podcast about who she was married to.
She's married.
Stussy, Massimo. I thought
Massoni. You thought Massoni.
Right.
And I'm like, no,
It's
Massoni's
so funny
Italian.
because in the early 90s, Stussy and Massimo
Same shit.
was the same
Oh,
shit.
same,
It's like the surfer.
Yeah.
Very
weird
similar
shit.
writing.
Yeah.
Yes.
Baseball hats kind of thing. I know she's really unpopular. She's become the poster child for the 1% for
Inequity.
excess.
Yeah, she's
The whole thing.
she's
And
the mascot now.
people are beating the shit out of her.
And this is about imprisonment in general. Do we have the goal of punishment or do we have the goal of rehabilitation? Because rarely can the two exist at the same time.
Yeah.
And so for me, yes, what she did is abhorrent.
Yes.
It's disgusting.
It is all of that.
Do I think now on top of that, we should all spend $31,000 a year so she can sit somewhere and we should pay for her to be in there and she's now not adding anything to society? Let's hurt ourselves to show her she was wrong in some way. She's not a violent criminal. I don't know what the productive end goal of it is.
Okay, so it's a good point that you're bringing up because there's prisons and certain people need to go to prison to protect the society.
Absolutely.
I've thought about that a great deal.
Yeah.
And do I think that white-collar people should be locked up? I guess they should. There's all different kinds of stealing. I certainly deserve to be locked up. And it's a question of how much time do you want to give people?
And I agree because you can't say that a black kid robbing a liquor store is worth going to jail for, and then a white guy robbing whatever fucking fund is not. In that respect, 100%.
I've been thinking about all these things in the last few days because this fellow that I know, this guy Michael Cohen.
Oh, right.
Yes, I know him. He was Trump's guy, Mr. Fix-It, and he's going to prison. And I spoke to him, to try to give him some advice and thought, like we're just a bunch of white guys talking about prison. We've done such a injustice to the black community.
Oh, God. Yeah.
Warehousing black. You can't talk about prison without talking about the African-American experience, which could be a whole other program.
No, but you're right. They're so disproportionately incarcerated. It's absurd.
It's crazy.
Yeah.
They were giving black kids 360 months selling crack cocaine, which is 30 years, 19-year-old kids, 20 years. It was just crazy. So
let's also just point out that crack had its own classification of mandatory sentencing and not white people code.
Right.
Yeah, you and I are sitting here talking about being ex-drug addicts.
Yeah.
I never was in jail for doing drugs. Were you?
No.
No. If you and I were black and we had the same history, we would have done jail time. That's almost a certainty because we would have been stopped 1,000 more times than you and I were stopped, and they would have found shit on me.
Yeah.
It's that simple.
Yes, that's correct. We don't know what that's like.
Right.
And I think that's the whole thing that we need to deal with.
So now when you got sentenced to 41 months?
41 months, yeah.
And at that point, where was Steve Madden, the shoe company, at?
So the shoe company was doing great. We just had a great wholesale business and We had about 30 stores or something like that.
You were doing like 200 million in business.
I don't remember what the number was.
Well, I know that when you got out of prison, you elevated it 100 million to 340 or
something like that. Yeah.
So it must have been
when
around.
I got out, we really exploded.
Yeah. But it was a big business.
It was a nice business. It was doing well. And then I went away.
In the layers of panic, fear that you were experiencing, what percentage of it was, oh, fuck, I'm about to lose my freedom, versus, oh, fuck, my business is going to collapse in my absence?
It was all of the above. I was worried about that I would die penniless, or maybe not that dramatic, but that I needed to save every penny because I didn't know what the future would bring.
At that moment, upon entering, you were the CEO, and you were forced to...
Yeah. I had a 7-year ban.
From being the CEO.
Yeah. A friend took over. And I have to say, they kept it going.
Yeah.
They did some really good work when I was away. Yeah. And it was pretty much the same, maybe a little bit less when I came back. I came back 30 months later. And then we were all just so energized, and it just exploded. And the business has exploded since then. I'd been back 14 years. So.
Now, can you walk me through some of the phases of that 30-month experience? I have to imagine when you first arrive, it's just panic.
I don't know if it's panic is the right word. It's just like, how am I going to survive this shit? Like, how am I going to get through this? And it's like a day at a time.
Right.
And you just have a few things. You have to mind your own business. That's a big thing. You know, you see some crazy shit going on, you go the other way. You know, you're there to do your bid.
Do you like the movie Out of Sight?
Out of Sight with George Clooney?
Yeah.
I love that movie.
Isn't it great?
The greatest. That was the greatest film.
And so it's set largely in a Florida federal penitentiary. I love that movie. So visually, did it resemble that place? That was a long way to go.
So we lived in cubes, these cement block, similar to Orange is the New Black. It was the first sort of captured it, but it was much smaller. Those girls had bigger rooms. We had tiny little cubes. They lived with 1 or 2 guys.
Oof.
Foot Locker. Not the store Foot Locker, but a Foot Locker.
Yes. Ironic for a shoe owner.
Yeah, right. Yeah.
And did you meet any super interesting people in there?
So many interesting people. Mostly everybody's there for drugs.
Okay.
You know, like I would say 80% of the prison is drugs. I don't know if that's accurate. But
we actually did that on one fact check because it's much higher in federal than state. We found out.
Yeah. So I went to a camp, then I transferred to a low. You live in cubes. You go into a cell in a medium prison, but
medium security.
They call it medium.
Okay.
Mostly Cuban and Puerto Rican, the Spanish guys, and then the black guys, and so you get into that experience.
For sure. Not to paint it as a positive experience, but there are certainly elements of it that are kind of a cool, privileged experience.
It was a positive experience. It was a heartbreaking, awful experience that it was some great guys there.
You didn't have to join a Nazi gang to stay alive.
I didn't have to join the Aryan
Brotherhood,
the Aryan Jews or whatever. It wasn't like that.
Was there a trial?
Me? No, I pled out.
Oh, you did? Okay.
Yeah, I just made a deal, pled out, and went off.
So then the night before you have to go there, what is that like? Just knowing starting tomorrow, there's 4 years of me.
Did you go to Dairy Queen?
No, I went with my guys. We flew down, 6 or 7 guys. My brother, some really good friends, and we went out to dinner and hung out, and then you go at 10:30 and you self-surrender. They call it self-surrender. And while you're doing it, you think you could be like the Ramada Inn, but it's not.
Right.
It's not checking in. You go. I remember I brought with me a book. I had a book about the Rolling Stones. Don't ask me why. I had a book. And they threw it out. Like, what are you doing? You're allowed to bring a Bible with you.
Oh, that's it.
That's it.
Oh, boy.
You can't bring anything with you. And like the moment you go with your friends and you drive up to the gate, and then all of a sudden you go into this room and it's over.
It's over. Right. Party's over.
It's over.
Yeah.
It's over. Strip, clothes go in a bag, hand goes up your ass. I mean, it's
on.
It's on. And awful. As awful as you can imagine. That's how it is. Nasty fucking prison guard. They must pick the nastiest one. Not all the prison guards are terrible.
Right.
But the ones that do the induction are particularly terrible.
They're sending a clear message right out of the gates.
I mean, that famous scene from officer and a gentleman where he says, "Don't eyeball me, boy."
Oh, yeah.
He says, "Don't eyeball me." Lou Gossett.
Yeah.
It was like that. Like you couldn't look him in the eye. What are you looking at?
Yeah. You mad dogging
I
me?
didn't tell you to fucking talk. Did I say you could say anything? It's like that. And it's like crazy.
Was there any point in there where you had gotten so used to the routine of it that it started feeling normal?
Yes, actually. I don't know what normal means, but the last sort of 9 months, my routine.
There's pretty documented examples of people who actually long for that experience, like that have been in there, come out, and
I've heard that. I'm not sure.
You buy it.
I don't buy that.
Okay.
But it's bad, but you're making the best of it. So like, for me, you get up, I taught a class. I worked in the library. I taught a class.
Yeah.
It's very quick. It's like a 90-minute thing. And then you're pretty much free. And you do your lunch, you do your workout.
Right.
You try to do something. Then you come back reading, and I really got into reading. And I really got into reading novels. It was a big thing, like at night.
Like you're turning on a great show or something.
Yeah. I'd get in my bunk and I would have this little clip-on light on my book. And I would get in the bed and you get in there and I'm like, you know what? It was okay. Like I did another day.
Right.
Yeah, I got through this.
Because the thing that does seem appealing to me is, by the way, it's the only thing I miss about drugs. Once you get high, you have a singular objective. Everything else gets right size. It's just stay high. That's it. And for some reason, I found that comforting. I like having one thing I have to do. So in a weird way, I could see myself just enjoying the fact that I get up, as you say, I go to this class, then I got to eat, and then I got to work out. But like the weight of the world is no longer on my shoulders.
That's true, actually. Even though I had a business, there was nothing I could do about it.
Right.
So I had people running the company, and they would tell me what was going on, but I wasn't focused on that.
And I know if you started this business, you have a very busy brain.
Yeah.
So there must be a little bit of freedom in stepping out of that and just knowing like, well, I can't do anything. My favorite thing in the world is a road trip because I'm completely unaccountable.
Yeah.
What can I do from the driver's seat of my car to help you or to answer? I can't do anything. And I love it.
You still do it?
Yes. So live for it.
With me, I had this ability to play tapes in my brain. I play the marriage tape, the father tape, but I wasn't any of those things. Or I play the golfing tape or the business tape. And I was able to fantasize and to go someplace else. And that ability really saved me. My brothers were much older than me, so I was sort of raised an only child. I think I got that from being alone and having to create my own world.
Yeah. But also addiction lends itself to romantics in a way. There's like this romanticism about Bukowski or Hemingway, or there's a romanticism involved in sex addiction. It's this ability to create this fantasy that's so complex and enticing that it can get you high like a drug can. So it's almost like implicit in an addict to be a little bit of a romantic.
Yes, I think that's true. But of course, that you get to a place I think I have now where I find that dreadfully boring. It doesn't work.
Yeah. Okay, so you get out day one of out. Is it what I would think, or does it underdeliver?
It was a blur. I was engaged. I got engaged to a longtime employee, and we became romantic. Not sex, but romantic.
While you were inside.
Yeah, wrote beautiful letters to each other, and it was great.
That sounds very romantic.
It was the most romantic thing. And so she picked me up, and it was just like a blur. I think like we had sushi. I don't even remember. It was like, I think we went on the airline that has TV. JetBlue. Yeah, it was just like, whoa, you're going off. And then it was amazing.
Like a dog hanging its head out the window, smelling every smell.
It was like that. And then I was able to go back to work quickly, and it was just the most exciting time.
And so what things changed? Because your first year out, you increased the business a ton. And then by 2015, you've tripled even what that 2006 was. I'm not going to count your money in front of everyone, but it's a lot of fucking money. $1.4 billion in 2015. Yeah. So when you got out, you increased the revenue by $100 million, brought it up to $475, and then by 2015, the company's making $1.4 billion a year. What happened between there?
Wait, I have to digress. Richard Pryor used to do this great bit where he would be high on cocaine and he'd call his accountant and he'd go, "How much I got?" And like at 3 a.m, and then he'd say to the accountant, "Bring it over right now."
You know, someone else told a great story about him where it's like he invited them over and the guy got there and he had like a kilo of Coke on the coffee table and 2 hookers. And then he said, look at this. Look at this. Look at these girls. And then I was like, oh my God. And then he's like, all right, now get out of here. He's like, what are you talking about? I thought we were going to party. He's like, no, I just wanted you to see what I'm doing. Get the fuck out of here. How demented you have to be. Come observe what I've got going. So what were the, I don't want to say paradigm shifts, but what happened? What are the stages of that?
The stages of coming back.
Coming back and then growing it into such a huge, successful company.
Because of incarceration, I was forced to hire so many people. And even when I got out, I did that. And I hired people that were smarter than me. I bet on a couple of people, and they've really been amazing. Right now, the company's at the best level it's ever been at. Over $3 billion market cap.
Wow.
Started with $1,100.
Wow.
That's amazing.
Yeah, it was really quite a journey.
Are you actually able to digest that information?
Intellectually, you can because, you see stuff, right? You see the money or you see the success. But do you feel it viscerally?
Right.
On a cellular basis? And the answer is no.
Right.
I really don't. And there are days that I do. I wish I could talk to a bunch of guys that have made a lot of money.
Sure.
Like, what's that like? Some people seem so supremely confident. But like one truth that I know, I'll bet Drake wakes up and thinks he looks like shit on certain days.
Yes.
Right?
Yes.
It's that kind of thing. Because people think, oh my God, Steve, you have all this money now. And I know, because I know what it's like to be Steve's.
I would have to imagine if I found 25-year-old Steve Madden and I said, when you're 61, you're going to have X amount of money and X amount of market share and X amount of stores, all that stuff. You would have fantasized about a feeling, an internal feeling, and a sense of self-worth and a sense of all that stuff that just doesn't exist.
Kenneth Cole. He was the guy I looked up to. I said, oh my God, he's got his name in the shoes. What's it like to be Kenneth Cole? And I actually became friendly with him. We played golf together.
Uh-huh.
He's a badass. He's a pretty cool guy. But my company's much bigger than Kenneth's.
Uh-huh. And you didn't feel some magic.
No. He's
right.
still Kenneth Cole.
Great.
Yeah.
So if it ain't that, which it ain't that, I think what you can internalize is you can be proud of how hard you worked. You can be proud that you were humble enough to get people that are smarter than you. There's some things there to be proud of.
Yeah.
The number doesn't really elicit any pride.
No.
Right? But you can be proud of the hard work.
Yeah.
Now, what things in your life give you the thing that you thought $1 billion would give you?
Sometimes there's a moment where you look and the kids are with you. And I never thought I was going to have kids, and have 3 kids. And, they'd be eating and I'm like, step outside of it. And I look and I see them eating and,
Like
that
the
kind of
Talking Head song.
Yeah.
Look at this man with this beautiful wife. How did I get here?
Yeah. It's a bit of that, but they look so beautiful. It's a wonderful feelings. When I wake up and I make the kids toasted bagels with butter.
Uh-huh.
And I don't want to do it. I can't stand getting up in the morning. I hate it.
Mm-hmm.
And they're going to school and I'm like stumble to the toaster and I buy these bagels because I don't really cook well, but I do make great bagels. And I feel proud that I make them chocolate milk and bagels. And for that moment, the world is okay.
Yeah.
Now that moment, all is well. Yeah. Freedom from the bondage of self.
Yes. So it's weird. The gift isn't the gift you think it's going to be, but yet there is a big gift sitting there.
Yes.
To become Steve Madden and go, oh, when I look in the mirror, I still see a guy that I wish had better blank and better blank.
Exactly.
And so what's the name of your documentary?
It's called Mad Man.
Mad Man.
Mad Man. Yeah. Well, we wanted to call it The Cobbler, but somebody had taken that. Couldn't use it, but now the book's going to be called The Cobbler, and I'm working on
great.
That's great.
What is your philosophy on time management? Because I have to imagine that if you gave into it, you could be busy 24/7.
Lately, the last couple of years, maybe last year, I've been enjoying doing nothing more than ever. It's kind of a new thing for me. Now, I don't know if it has to do with Donald Trump. Not to get political, but it's so interesting what is taking place in the country that you can kind of like have the TV on.
Oh, sure.
And just kind of stumble around. It's so entertaining.
Love them, hate them.
Wherever you fall on this thing.
It's a hell of a show.
Some of the stuff is, if you wrote it in a book, it's unbelievable what's happening.
Literally unbelievable.
The sheer volume is what's unbelievable. Literally daily. I keep expecting them to run out of something, but if I glance at Twitter, it's hourly, it's daily.
He tweeted about the Kentucky Derby.
Okay, I missed that.
And it doesn't surprise you anymore.
Yeah, it's become normal.
But maybe he's onto something.
Yeah, I think Bill Maher's lately been saying of him, he sold himself as a non-politician who's a great businessman, but in fact, he's a great politician who's a terrible businessman. There's like a weird flip.
That's actually true. That's good. Well put.
Okay, so now you've been dialing back. Do you have fear that, oh shit, if I'm not around, the whole thing's going to collapse?
No, I have a terrible fear about that. I work with my team, and they're doing great, and they're actually doing better without me, which really freaks me out.
Sure.
It completely makes me insane.
Yeah.
And I had to get used to that. Of course, I built it. I have to say that, but they're doing great. Business is great, so I have a little bit more free time.
And you're divorced now as
I'm
well,
divorced,
right?
Yes. I'm divorced now, and I've got a good relationship with my ex-wife. We were married for 9 years or 10 years. I'm divorced, but I have more time to kind of think about all this stuff. I'm just getting used to it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, and I would imagine a friend of mine's in the NHL, and I was talking to him just Friday about when guys retire from, be it NHL, NFL, any of these things, most of them experience a pretty big lull. Conventionally, people thought, oh, they missed the limelight, or they missed the paycheck, or they missed the game. And it's not that. They now know. Like, it's the camaraderie.
Yeah.
It's the sense of purpose.
Yeah.
That is invaluable to humans.
Yeah. So I miss the action. I love to fight, and I love to scrap and hold grudges, and I love to. And I don't do that as much anymore.
Yeah.
Things are good. Things are normal. Mm-hmm. As a kid, I was obsessed with reading about the moguls. I used to read about Jack Warner and Louis B. Mayer and Daryl Zanuck and all these guys. I had this sense that I was like that in some way. Even as like an 11-year-old and 12-year-old kid reading about these guys.
Yeah.
They were interested in the whole vision from the creative, the business, the everything, putting all the pieces together. A guy that made Gone with the Wind wasn't the director. He didn't write the screenplay. He wasn't an actor. His name was Selznick. He was the executive producer. And that was like, that's the guy. That's what I want to be. And I brought that to the shoe business.
Right.
I really did.
You succeeded early on, by my understanding, of having unique marketing that everyone knew about, right? So you had the bobblehead woman walking down the street. What role did that play in the success, do you think?
So it started with an idea that I had, which was this Eloise at the Plaza, which is an old New York thing, and it's this weird...
It's a cartoon.
It's
a book, right?
Yeah, and it was with drawings. We started with that, and then this guy had this photographic trick where he blew up the heads.
Yes.
It's nothing like Eloise.
Right.
But that's what I wanted. And he made it, this guy. And what was great about it was, looking back on it, once we had this technique, my company, we created the ads. We styled them. We created them. We worked with this agency.
Yeah.
And it was great. And it was like a group effort. It was a very exciting time.
In a fun way, you had come through the back door to do something Hollywood-esque.
Yes.
Like you actually had a production.
It was weird, now that you mention it. It ended up being that. I ended up being that guy.
Right.
We're putting all the pieces together. It was a fantastic period. But they're all good periods.
Yeah.
And you'll find that too.
Yeah.
As a sober man like me. They're all good. They all bring interesting shit. It's just all interesting if you're awake.
And if my ego's not evaluating which one of those things is more important than another, I can just be present and enjoy those things.
Well, that might be a tall order.
That's a very tall order.
We have to fight that.
Yeah.
My ego is not my amigo.
Yes, my ego is not my amigo.
Yeah.
Is there anything that you still have your sights on?
So many things. Getting older now. 61.
March 24th.
March 23rd.
Fuck you. It's the 24th now officially because I've
good.
said it.
Let's change it. I will say one thing that I heard and believe. So we don't get older, but our bodies get older because I'm the same 10-year-old obnoxious kid, but the casing changes. So trying to outlast myself or trying to overcome all my shit on a daily basis. My self-centeredness, which I am in the extreme. And that's the challenge today. And it seems a little prosaic, but it's not.
I don't think you can be an entrepreneur who grows something and builds something without being crazy self-centered,
Yeah.
At times egomaniacal, at times narcissistic, all these things. The trick, I think, is to step off the treadmill, right?
We can do that.
Yeah.
It can be done, even if you are a part-time narcissist.
Right.
I've been reading a lot about the narcissist thing. It's like, oh my God, is that me?
Yeah.
They have all these things like, don't date a narcissist. Like, don't fuck with a narcissist. He'll steal your soul. That kind of stuff. But it has been me, but it's not me. It's not who I am.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So,
and even if it were you, it's not to say it has to be you.
It's not me, but it could be me.
I was wrestling with it strongly recently myself. I'm like, who am I kidding? I think I'm just a hardcore narcissist. I certainly am thinking about myself 24/7. When I'm in a situation, my first thought is how I'm uncomfortable. But I will say that I witnessed something at work on one of my many acting jobs, so I'm not singling out which one it was. But I was watching another actor, could have been male, could have been female. This actor was complaining about their lines. They were complaining about where they had to stand. They were complaining about this and that. And I thought to myself, that's the definition of narcissist. I have the same thoughts. I think my lines are crappy, and I think I don't want to stand there. But I recognize everyone around me also feels that way. To feel uniquely put upon is a narcissist. Like to feel individually targeted and everything's unfair to you and you can't recognize that everyone else is in the same. I think that's where it breaks down. Or at least I told myself that. I'm like, okay, I'm not a hardcore narcissist because I'm aware that everyone doesn't like their position or their lines or their light, whatever the fucking thing is.
That's a good point. But there's something that I like to do is like, so let's say I go and sit down someplace. I have to say, Steve, why don't you ask 3 questions about other people? Like it's like a drill almost. There are many times when I walk into a meeting and I'll go, Steve, ask about somebody else and listen to them and don't talk about yourself because all I want to do is talk about myself.
Of course.
That's it.
But the simple fact that you're across your mind that that's something you should do, whether it comes immediately natural to you or it's a little bit forced, it's still something I don't think a narcissist is actually asking themselves to do.
Well, let's hope you're right.
They don't care to change it
Let's hope
at the
you're
very
right.
least.
Right. And then also we know from our club, you can act your way into thinking differently.
That's for sure. Behavior empowers feelings, for sure. That's a very good point.
But you force yourself to do it for a while. At some point, it'll just be a habit and it'll be real.
Narcissists can be so fucking boring. And that's what I don't want.
What did you tell Cohen? Is that private? What did you advise him to do?
That he was going to be okay. And to mind your business. Some simple stuff like the guards. Don't talk to them. Yes, sir. No, sir.
Mm-hmm. Don't even try to win them over.
No. That's a fatal flaw.
While the testimony was happening, it was this great opportunity to see how unobjective I actually am as a person. When Cohen was defending Trump, I was like, this guy is the biggest piece of shit in the world. I don't like the shape of his face. Yeah. He's the kind of guy that I filled in all this stuff, right?
Yeah.
Then I started watching his testimony. Of course, he's saying things I like, right?
Yeah.
So now I start going, I bet you this guy's a fun hang. Like all things aside, I bet at a dinner party, I like this guy.
Yeah.
And then I had this moment where I was like, oh, everyone is experiencing this flip. So everyone who loved him 3 months ago hates his guts, and everyone who hated him loves him. It just goes to show how subjective we are as people, right?
Yeah. Yeah, he's a nice guy. But he got caught up, if you can look at it like that. I know he got caught up with a very charismatic, swaggy motherfucker.
Yeah.
Like who owned golf courses and casinos and shit.
Skyscrapers.
He was around pretty girls, and he got caught up.
Yeah.
He got caught up and he did the wrong thing a lot of times. I don't think that's who he is. What he did is not who he is.
Mm-hmm.
And we have to have compassion.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
But, he did some shitty stuff. He did, for sure.
Again, he's telling himself the same lie we all tell ourselves, which he's saying, if I can get some of what that guy's got, I'm going to feel a certain way.
Yeah, we need to put ourselves in the other fellow's shoes sometimes.
Being compassionate doesn't exclude you from being just. We can still send people to pay their debt and also have compassion. It's not either or. Well, Steve Madden, you're awesome. I enjoyed meeting you so much. I wish you tons of luck as
Thank you.
pull off the throttle a little bit and ease into relaxation.
Great.
All right.
All right.
Stay tuned for more Armchair Expert, if you dare.
And now my favorite part of the show, the fact check with my soulmate, Monica Padman. Just some good old facts. Never meaning no harm. Beats all you never saw. Been in trouble with the facts since the day he was born.
Oh, that was good.
Well, we're going full circle with the Dukes of Hazzard theme song.
Sure. You know,
Sure.
at our live show in Detroit, somebody.
Hello.
Oh.
Oh, we're in a log cabin and no one has mic stands in Rob's, but just really wrestling with his.
At our live show in Detroit, someone made up a song, a fact check song, and sang it. Well, told you to sing it.
Yeah, but the lyrics were so complicated. I could only retain like the first line.
What was the song?
You're a real fine woman when you back them facts up.
Yeah. That
Yeah,
was good.
it was. I really was wanting him to sing it. I felt like it was one of those moments like on that British version of Star Search or American Idol or whatever, like an old gal comes out and then all of a sudden she opens up her mouth and angels fly out. You know, we've all seen those momentous moments in reality shows where someone's an incredible singer. So I was just waiting for that man to all of a sudden just start singing like Pavarotti or something.
Oh.
That's what I was prepared for. Well, because his female partner said he has a song, but he's shy. And then I thought, oh, this is when this happens.
Oh, sure. It's a good lead up into some revelational.
Yeah, you and I cannot get our arms around that word. We want to say a revelation, but we want to say past tense of it. And then we say revelatory, which is not
That's not
that.
it. That's like when you're reveling in something.
Yeah.
Yeah, this is a revelation.
Right.
Revelational.
Revelational?
Anywho, that did not happen, and that was okay. It was still lovely.
It was darn lovely.
Yeah.
Yeah. But again, if he had just been like Pavarotti all of a sudden, what a thing to witness.
You would have liked it.
Quite a bit.
So Steve Madden.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We've only had a few guests where we exchanged telephone numbers, and now he and I are texting. There's a real connection.
Yeah. Shoe
Yeah.
connection.
Shoe connection.
Did
Is that the name of a shoe store or something?
Should be. No, that's Shoe Gallery.
Or French connection?
What does he text you about?
Private stuff, you know.
Okay. Rude.
Well, I can say we're texting without having to detail what he says
Sure
to
you
me.
can.
Well, the theme wasn't necessarily what he said as much as we made a French connection.
At the Shoe Gallery.
Yes.
He was interesting.
Yeah, big time.
He went to prison.
I'm so fascinated by prison, as I imagine many of us are, because it's the ultimate fear.
Yeah.
I always try to tell myself as a mantra when I'm really upset and I'm just having a lousy day and I'm grinding over stupid details, I'll just remind myself, well, I'm not in prison and I'm not dead. Those are really the only two things you can't really deal with. Well, in this case, he did deal with it, but
Yeah, I think you do deal with it.
no thanks, though. I don't ever need that experience.
I'd rather not.
Yeah.
But I could also see how people get there,
Oh, sure.
you know?
I could have ended up there. A couple different
You definitely
Yeah,
could
a couple
have.
different incidents. Well, one for certain, yeah.
Are you going to tell us, or is it like the text?
No.
Oh,
I'm sorry. I
man.
can't admit to the thing I've
Why?
admitted to you about
Is-
7-Eleven. I can't say that out loud.
Probably shouldn't say
Yeah.
that.
And I could have gone to prison for sure, but I didn't. Now, at the same time, and I think I told him this, I do have a slight fantasy of going to prison just to read all those books I'm supposed to read that I don't know I'm ever going to find time to. All the classics. I also feel like if I was in there, I could really write a good book. 'Cause what the hell else would you do? Well, and lift weights. In my fantasy, I exit prison like a Schwarzenegger J.D. Salinger,
Sure.
an amazing writer with humongous biceps.
But I don't think I have done anything to go to prison, but I'm trying to really go through all the things in my brain. No, I haven't.
You could have committed vehicular manslaughter. I mean, that's something
And
that
not
happens.
known?
No. You would know. I'm just saying. Even
sure.
you, who's
Oh,
a
yeah.
great rule follower, you could find yourself. Or what about a grand conspiracy, a setup, a frame up?
You think I would be involved in that?
Yeah, if someone didn't like you and they were like, I'm going to pin a crime on her to get rid of her.
Oh, I thought you meant I was framing somebody else.
No. I'm talking more like The Fugitive.
Oh.
There was a man in my house. That man had one arm. Find that man.
I haven't seen it, so I
You haven't seen The Fugitive? Harrison Ford?
haven't seen it.
Oh,
Sorry.
that's okay.
Get off my plane.
I think I do an okay Harrison Ford.
Yeah, that sounded pretty good.
Or that magic special we watch, and he goes,
Get the fuck out of my house.
Yeah, that's David Blaine's special on Netflix.
Yeah.
And he does magic for celebrities. It's so fascinating. And yeah, Harrison Ford, he really stumps him.
He really blew his mind.
Yeah.
And he goes, "Get the fuck out of my house."
He did.
You know, another obsession of Nate and I's, other than John Doe, the actor, is Harrison Ford, in that so many of his movies, the bulk of the movie is him reacting to either turbulence on a plane or a big explosion. He's always running. He has a very physical career. And in the Air Force One film in particular, he has a whole set piece where he's down in the galley, and that plane is just throwing him side to side. But of course, in real life, nothing's happening. The actor's just having to throw himself around the set.
Yeah.
And Nate and I have watched that particular sequence over and over again because he's really selling that.
Right.
And we were imagining that scene was probably shot after lunch. He had a real big lunch. So he's down there like running and falling. And we were just thinking, boy, he's probably close to throwing up in those scenes.
Yeah.
You know, that physicality with the buffet bar style macaroni and cheese he ate.
Yeah,
barbecue
sure.
chicken.
All right. So he said Jewish people are also obsessed with poop.
Oh, really?
I couldn't really find anything about that.
Oh, okay.
And you brought up the German obsession, as we've already covered.
Right.
But since then, we have spoken to some Germans and asked them if
Simon and Daniela.
and we asked them if there was any truth behind that claim. They said no. They were off put.
Well, they were pretty perplexed by even the question. Like, what are you talking about? So in our research so far, we've gathered 2 hard no's that's not true. Can anyone ever really be objective about their own culture? The Germans had did some kind of study of the American character. I would probably trust their conclusion, even maybe more than I'd trust our own.
That's true.
Because I think it's the naive realism, right? They're going, no, we have the same obsession of poop that anyone else has. You just assume whatever your thing is in your culture is standard around the world.
Yeah. But you said that they have 3,200 words for shitting, and they don't.
No.
No. Not at all. We don't actually have a number. So it's just they have multiple words.
Right.
But there is a lot of words about anality. Remember that? Anality?
No, anality.
Anal.
Okay.
And what I didn't say on the last one about this was shit performs a number of bizarre linguistic duties. For instance, a term of endearment was my little shit bag.
There you go.
I think if we maybe asked them, like, do you say that? They'd probably say no.
Ooh, we should find out.
We should.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Simon did tell me he uses shit for a lot of stuff.
Oh, he does?
Yeah.
Like?
That you just, like, instead of fuck, you say shit.
Oh, the cereal is very shitty. And it means good.
Well, I don't think it means good. If you're replacing it with fuck.
Right, I was replacing it with everything.
Sure.
Like he says it a lot, like even for things that are tasty.
The word for shit had a lot of meanings.
Okay.
And then there's a lot of folk sayings, like, as the fish lives in water, so does the shit stick to the asshole. So.
Yeah, I mean, if that's a famous German proverb.
Yeah. But maybe they've evolved.
Because that doesn't sound like a pretty thing to say.
No.
As the fish swims in water, so does the shit stick to an asshole. And you go like, thanks, Dad. I am going to try out for the track team.
What does it mean, as the fish lives in water? Like, is it just there's always shit stuck to an asshole?
No, I think it means it's the shit's nature to stick to an asshole.
Oh.
As it's a fish's nature to be in water.
Okay.
You know,
All
like
right.
you can't be mad at poop for sticking to your bottom cheeks because that's its nature.
I'm going to be mad about it.
Okay, well, it's inconvenient, but the shit's doing its duty, I think.
It's duty.
Doing its D-O-D-Y. Or is it D-I-E?
I would spell it D-I-E.
Yeah.
Okay, cocaine psychosis. We were talking about cocaine. He didn't have the same reaction to cocaine you did.
No.
Cocaine affects people in a variety of ways. While some people may find that using cocaine allows them to feel happier and sociable, that's you, other people feel the effects of paranoia or symptoms similar to schizophrenia.
Mm-hmm.
Which is what he had.
Yeah, cocaine-induced schizophrenia. Now, I had a person on Instagram who is a chemist who did reach out about the cocaine. being a three-time reuptake inhibitor. Dopamine, serotonin, and norepinephrine.
Norepinephrine?
Epinephrine. That's a hard one. Norepinephrine. No.
Nora Ephron?
Yeah, big director.
Yeah.
I think she passed.
I think so.
Yeah. Oh, but while I'm talking about armchairs, I just want to say one thing that I failed at doing in Cleveland on Sunday was to call out Ed Hipps. HIPPS. Ed Hipps is who runs the Armchair Companion site.
Oh, was he in Cleveland?
He was in Cleveland. I was going to thank him from the stage.
Oh, man.
And then I just got flustered. I also forgot to thank Lazy Boy and Chrysler Pacifica. I was topsy-turvy. We had driven from Detroit. I ate way too many White Castles.
Oh, 12. You ate 12. I ate 5.
We got in an argument on the ride from Detroit to Cleveland about what was better, White Castle or Crystals.
This is a long, ongoing debate.
Yes, and we then labeled them just for time and convenience, Cassie's and Chrissy's. So we saw Cassie's. I pulled in, ordered a number 9, which was 20 burgers, 4 fries. And you were appalled by that order.
Yeah.
And I said, trust me, this is going to be the perfect amount for the ride. I was off by 2 or 3 burgers.
You were right, because if we had gotten the 10, it would have not been enough.
No, because you ate 6 all in?
5.
Okay. And I ate 12. I must have eaten 13 because there was only 2 left when I threw the bag out.
The Pacifica had an odor when we were done.
It had a dense onion odor.
Very oniony.
From the Cassie's.
Yeah.
But you did say that they were delicious.
They were. They taste exactly like Chrissy's. And I love them.
And what we love most about Cassie's and Chrissy's is that bottom bun becomes permeated about halfway down with burger fat and onion grease.
Yeah.
And it is what a paste.
I prefer the word goo, but you like paste.
Yeah, either way. It's a slurry of delicious damp bread.
It's so good. Okay, so Wolf of Wall Street. He's a part of that whole thing.
Yeah.
And we talk about that, but I got a little nervous that some people who hadn't seen it would not understand what was actually going on. Do you want to explain it?
Boy, I don't know that I could, but I will just say that movie was about 2 gentlemen, Leonardo DiCaprio and Jonah Hill. I forget their real life names, but those are the actors playing them. And they had a pump and dump scheme on Wall Street. They got super rich. They were both addicts. And then ultimately the whole thing collapsed. And one of the companies they were pumping and dumping was Steve Madden Shoes.
Jordan Belfort is a Leonardo DiCaprio character.
Okay.
And it's based off of his memoir. So Jonah Hill played Donnie Azoff,
who was Steve's childhood friend.
Yeah, which is so interesting.
Yeah.
They were childhood friends. Okay, a pump and dump is a form of securities fraud that involves artificially inflating the price of an owned stock through false and misleading positive statements in order to sell the cheaply purchased stock at a higher price.
It's also the term when you're trying to get pregnant.
Oh, sure.
It's also the term for if you've had some alcohol or something, you want to pump your breast milk and dump it so the kid doesn't get drunk.
That one I've heard.
But I definitely called the time when I was trying to impregnate Kristen as pump and dump.
Oh, okay.
All right.
Cool.
That's a pretty good way to talk about getting pregnant for people.
Okay. People can take that and use it if they like.
Yeah.
You know, some of these schemes and fraud, this is sort of what I was talking about at the beginning. I feel like could happen to me.
Yeah, me too.
They have some gray area.
Yes.
Kind of like insider trading. Like I never fully understood why insider trading is that bad. And if you get information, how can you not
share it?
How can you not act on it?
If they have actual concrete information that the general public that's investing doesn't have.
Yeah.
If they have that information because they work at that company or they're a lawyer that knows the way a court case is about to be decided or many different things that put other investors at a disadvantage to them, then it's insider trading.
I know that, but I just don't, if you work at the company, you just know
you're not
that.
If you work at the company, you're not allowed to be investing during those periods.
Right.
Not unlike if you play for a sports team, you're not allowed to put a bet on that game in Vegas.
Right.
You know, you could sway the game.
But if you work at a company, you generally have shares of that company.
Right. But if you work at AT&T, let's say, and you have 1 million shares, and you find out that in 8 days they're about to announce their earnings report and it's terrible, you can't sell all your stock 8 days before.
Yeah.
And then announce the news. You got to take the ride with everyone else.
Sure.
Yeah, it's not like walking into a liquor store with a pistol and demanding the cash out of the register. Mm-hmm. Like that feels very like a clear line you've stepped over.
Yeah.
Whereas some of this stuff does feel a little grayer.
Well, it just feels like you're asking a lot of that person.
Well, that's why I believe in regulation. I think it's too much to expect of an individual to have an opportunity to quickly make a tremendous amount of money and think that they're not going to do it when in their mind there's no seeming victim.
Exactly.
They're like, oh, what if I dump my 1,000 shares? What's that really going to do to this overall market that has a volume of trillions of shares?
And if I didn't know that, I still could be selling that today.
Right. It is a lot to expect a person not to,
Yeah.
step a little over the line.
I know. I think people are going to be mad at me for defending that, but
For being empathetic to it?
Yeah, I just really am.
Yeah.
I just could see how most people would fall into that trap.
Here's another thing. How deep does it extend? Let's say I knew Warner Brothers had spent $500 million on a new DC movie. Mm-hmm. And then I got invited early to a screening of that to give my opinion to the director or something. Mm-hmm. And I saw it and I was like, oh, this thing's a fucking shit show.
Yeah.
This movie's not going to work. Could I legally then go short WB stock?
See, I think yes.
Is that insider
it
information?
Probably is, but that's what I'm saying. Like, how could you not?
Yeah.
Yeah, knowing you're about to lose your fortune and...
Yeah, but I'm even being more tactical. I'm going to short the stock. So I'm going to go. I'm going to go rent some stock, 1,000 shares. I sell it today because I know that movie's going to come out and do terrible.
Yeah,
and that's all a month down the road. Yeah. And then I'll buy them back up and return the shares.
The line is so thin between like the Big Short guy, who he didn't know 100%, just like you wouldn't know 100% by seeing the movie. You just would assume like, oh, this is bad. No one's telling you this is going to fail 100%. You don't know. You're just taking...
Are you talking specifically about the Christian Bale character?
Yeah.
The things that he was investigating where he had figured out which bundles of mortgage-backed securities had reached a tipping point of toxicity. The records he was reading was available to everybody.
Yeah,
so anyone in the world could have done the same research he did.
That's true. I guess that's the difference.
And he actually didn't have any inside information. He wasn't like being tipped off by any of these companies. He was just reading the public, the public filings.
Yeah, then I guess the Warner Brothers thing would be that because not everyone has the ability to see the movie beforehand. Yeah.
Right.
Ugh.
There's so many other ways to cheat. I've seen these documentaries about the traders moving their whole operation to Connecticut because it's that much closer to the source of the DSL or the T1 line that all the trade's happening on. So it does hit their computers like 0.006 seconds faster. And just having that advantage, they can do all these real-time micro trades just based on that advantage they have on the fucking internet.
Wow, that's
so there's
crazy.
A lot of people looking to benefit from any wiggle room.
Yeah, it's fascinating. So you said we were spending $31,000 a year for Lori Loughlin to be in prison. And yeah, you're right. According to the Vera Institute of Justice, incarceration costs an average of more than $31,000 per inmate per year nationwide. In some states, it's as much as $60,000.
Yeah, isn't that bonkers?
Did we talk about this on Jerry Buting, maybe? We maybe did.
Maybe. Yeah, because I did remember both those numbers you just said. Yeah, I want to say like New York State. There's areas in New York State, it's $59,000 per inmate. There's areas in California.
So I agree. I'm like, look, I don't like what happened there.
Yeah.
And I'm like, she's going to be in prison for that.
Exactly. Do I think she's going to do it again?
Yeah.
No. After the public shaming.
Oh, God, yeah.
So we want to correct people's behavior.
Yes.
That's what we claim to want. I think her behavior's corrected. For people who want punishment, they want a punitive system. that's kind of, I guess, a different mindset.
Yeah. I mean, I guess if you're trying to even out the scale, it's like, well, yes, this rich white woman should probably
Suffer.
suffer like all these poor minority groups are suffering. So in that way, I kind of am like, yeah, well.
But she's going to suffer. She'll never be on a TV show again. She'll never work
Right,
again.
but
Like her career, she lost her career over that. Look, I think it's grotesque.
Yeah.
Let's be clear. I think it's grotesque they were doing that. It's
Yeah.
so embarrassing. But other people doing comparable crimes, they might get community service for 4 months, 6 months. Maybe they do 30 days in prison or whatever. They're allowed to return to being a doctor or a nurse or any occupation. So she's going to suffer permanently. She's not going to get hired, nor is Felicity Huffman. They're going to pay a pretty darn tall price for their indiscretion.
Yeah. I would actually say most people that enter the prison system, when they come out, they have a very hard time working because they have that on their record.
If they've entered as an unskilled hourly laborer. But if they've entered as Steve Madden, they return to being Steve Madden. Like Steve Madden was allowed to continue to have a shoe empire.
Yeah.
Lori Loughlin would not be allowed to.
But I'm talking about like people who are in jail for like small drug crimes.
But those people didn't enter as lawyers or as shoe company owners. I'm saying whatever level job they entered with, they pretty much are going to be able to maintain when they exit.
Sure. I'm just trying to say that in general, it's not fair for just like the rich person who's a movie star to evade that kind of punishment when there are people who have nothing who are in jail for equally or lesser crimes.
Yeah. But a lot of these things are really just, we're debating about what our stomach feels and what our brain feels. So, Lori Loughlin, do I want $31,000 a year coming out of our budget to punish her? And my argument is she's going to be punished. So don't worry, justice will be administered. Why should we pay $31,000 to administer justice when justice is already being administered? We should have the ability to evaluate that situation.
But I feel that about so many people in prison.
So do I.
Yeah.
Yeah, drug users. I don't think that we should spend $31,000.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think it's preposterous.
Yeah, me too. But since we are, is it fair if she didn't have to serve? It's like, would that be fair? Because we are punishing people.
Yeah, let's make it equal. So a lower income person cannot bribe their way into a college for their kids. But let's say a lower income person blew the dean of admissions at a school to get their kid in. I don't believe that person would be sent to prison over that or jail. I don't think that's a jailable offense if you're low income and you do it.
No, but I don't think that's an actual crime.
Sucking a dick to get your kid in? Yeah.
How could
That's bribing.
You could say that you were just doing that. Like you couldn't prove that that was to get them into school.
You could, because if the kid didn't have the grades or the SAT scores or any of the objectable
qualifications,
you'd go, oh, well, then how did they get in? Oh, well, the dad blew the dean of admissions. You go, oh, that's how he got in. That becomes quite easy to prove.
I don't know, though. I think it's more gray. Like I think you could get out of that far easier than seeing a trail of money.
Okay, but let's just assume in this hypothetical that the dad said, yep, I blew the dean of admissions. The dean of admissions said, if you blow me, I'll get your kid in. Now, all that's been admitted to. Do you think they send that dad to prison? I don't. For blowing the dean?
Are you saying you don't think they should or you don't think they would?
I don't think they would. Your argument was she should suffer the same consequences that a person of lower income should suffer.
Well, my argument is no one should be suffering those consequences. I don't think she should be in prison. I don't think any of those people should be in prison.
Okay, but you said if they're going to put people in prison, they should put the rich person in prison. And so I'm answering that question. I don't think they would put that lower income person in prison for bribing their way into a college.
I don't know, though. I don't know if they would.
Yeah.
I think they like putting people in prison, especially like putting minorities in prison.
Yeah.
So,
yeah.
I don't know.
Yeah, it's just my opinion. I don't think they'd send a dad to prison for sucking the dean of admissions off. They'd be like, you got your just desserts. Everyone knows you blew the dean of admissions.
Maybe. I don't know.
I don't know either. Last thought on the Lori thing is just the crime and what's repugnant is that her kid took the place of someone who deserved to be there. That's the injustice. But what's interesting is it's a scale. It's a sliding scale because the kid who didn't have to work in high school and had more time to study and also had 3 tutors to help them get a good score on the SAT, that person had a bunch of stuff that took away the slot of someone without that stuff. So
absolutely.
Yeah, it's like a 7 on the spectrum or it's a 6 or whatever it is. it is interesting. We're all appalled by the 10, which is the outright buying a slot in there. Yet there's things pretty close to it that don't seem to bother anyone.
Yeah, that's true. But in the case of the tutors and stuff like that, the kid is still having to put in effort. Like, you could have a tutor and still do horrible.
Yes.
Your parents could put in a lot of energy and money into you, but you still have to deliver. And these kids did not. They didn't do anything.
But you have to deliver with great assistance from people who specialize in how to do well on that test. You know, when Hassan was on talking about this, I just think that's a humongous advantage. It's not as big of an advantage as your parents building a library there, but it is a big advantage.
It's a huge advantage, but this doesn't feel like an advantage. It just feels like stealing. A little bit of a difference.
I just think we're putting kind of arbitrary mental barriers on when we're defining something as stealing and when we're defining it as an advantage, and it's a little more permeable to me, especially if I'm a young 16-year-old who has 2 jobs to help support this family of brothers and sisters, and there's no way I can do extracurricular activities, and there's no way I can be on the math team, and there's no, that's such a brutally different situation to apply to college in.
Absolutely.
But that feels very unjust to me. Not as unjust as the Lori thing, but quite unjust.
Yeah, it is.
I just remember when we had Dan Savage on, did a live show coming out, and backstage he was telling us this very interesting thing, that he spends a lot of time in Graz, Austria, incidentally where Schwarzenhammer's from.
Ooh.
He spends a lot of time there. He has a really good friend that he is around a lot who's Austrian. And the Austrians always really amused by how Americans speak to wait staff and different positions that are low paying, where they're talking to their waiter like, oh, yeah, oh, right, great, oh, thank you so much. This effusive outpouring of kindness.
Yeah.
And they don't do that in Austria. And the reason they don't do it, he theorized, which I found really interesting, and I think he's right, is the people there get paid a real wage.
Yep.
So your server is like talking to an architect.
Yeah.
They're making a good amount of money, and they have great health care, and there's nothing to feel bad about.
Mm-hmm. You're not carrying a bunch of guilt. And
I think we carry around a bunch of guilt, and I think that's this bizarre way we're dealing with the guilt, knowing that a lot of the people that are helping us throughout the day are not making it. They're barely getting by.
Yeah.
And so similarly, I think we all know in our hearts that the system's pretty unjust as far as who's going to college. So this example became a real pressure release for us.
These conversations have been going on forever with affirmative action, and that's the whole point of it, is to even out that scale a little bit.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, but that's and I get it, it's such a daunting problem to fix, and it's easy to get apathetic about it because it seems overwhelming.
Yeah. It's, we are just such a product of luck.
Yeah.
Everything in our life is a product of, what Hassan was saying. He was saying trends and forces, but yes, these things that you have no control over, that
you're lucky or you're not.
Yeah.
Yeah.
He said Eglin Air Force Base is the largest Air Force base in America, but I think it's Fort Bragg.
Oh, okay.
Fort Bragg in North Carolina.
Okay.
Population 260,000.
Sorry,
Eglin. When he said it, I thought he said Eggland.
That's what I thought you just said.
Oh, see? Yeah. Eglin, Eggglin or Eglin.
Oh, Eglin.
Eglin. Yeah. It sounds like Eggland.
It does. Like Jeff Garland.
Yeah, exactly. That's all.
That's all?
Yeah.
Okay, great.
We got to get back to our lake.
Yeah, we got to get back to our lake living.
Yeah.
Last night, there was a very dramatic sky.
Oh, man.
Woo, doggies. Just
gorgeous.
These huge, billowy, crisp, sharp, rhombus cumulus crowds. And then behind those, Chicago.
Yeah.
I could see just the peaks of the buildings in Chicago on the shore. It's got to be 60 miles away, more.
600 maybe.
Yeah. Oh, man, what a beautiful sight that was.
It was really nice.
Well, I love you.
I love you. Bye.
Well, goodbye.